Laynie and welcome to my channel. So I finally did the smart thing and decided to buy some samples of perfumes that are on my wish list because your girl sometimes does a little too much blind buying, so I thought it was time to change that. If you want to hear my thoughts on some samples I picked up from my wish list, then definitely stick around. And if you enjoy fragrance content, lifestyle content, and beauty content, make sure you click that subscribe button, join the fam, you won't regret it. And I don't want to chat your ear off all day, so let's just jump on into the video. Okay, so let's just start off with the biggest sample. I got most of these either on Mercari or Etsy from different shops. Definitely just make sure you look at reviews, that you're going to somebody who is up to snuff, who isn't a scam artist. I felt really comfortable with all the people I bought from. And then the last one was from Olfactive. So starting with this is actually a full-size royalty scents, which is a subscription. I bought this from Mercari. I saw they were selling a lot of royalty scents. But anyways, this is Tuberosa. The whole reason I picked this up is because Curly Scents says she loves this and I love curly scents. But this is Tuberosa by Laynie. I actually really like tuberose fragrances, so my interest was piqued. In here we have accords of white floral, tuberose, aromatic, sweet, animalic, that one scares me a bit, woody, herbal, and yellow floral. Now let's do a quick mention of notes and then we'll start sniffing and talk about thoughts. We have ylang ylang, orange blossom, artemisia, which looks like a plant that I've never heard of, sweet orange, tuberose, gardenia, marigold, jasmine. I was interested that the tuberose comes in the middle notes. I kind of thought it would be bam right at forefront because of the name. And then vetiver, musk, amber, sandalwood. I think all of Laynie's fragrances are supposed to be unisex, but don't quote me on that. Oh, in my eyeballs. This is pretty. It's very pretty. It's very elegant. Honestly, very bridal. It's very white floral. I actually pick up more of the gardenia than I do the tuberose, which is so surprising. I don't think this is unique though. Like I have Armani My Way. Reminds me of it. My Way is much more bubblegummy tuberose, but still a very similar feel with the very heavy, almost sensual white florals that are kind of animalic. That's actually one reason I have trouble wearing My Way Intense, because it does run very animalic on me. This is like thick, almost like humid white floral. Like you're walking through a greenhouse, you know, with that warm, dewy air, and you just smell thickness of white florals everywhere. That is this. It also kind of reminds me of my Crystal Gardenia, an old KKW throwback. It even kind of reminds me of the new Florist by Ellis Brooklyn. I actually would prefer that one to this. It is beautiful, and I do get why Curly Scents says it is kind of sexy. And I must say, I feel like this is my first Laynie experience, but she's thick. She seems like she's gonna last well. I feel like Laynie must be a powerhouse. I have heard they are. This is almost so fragrant that it's like, I can feel the oil in my mouth. Like, the oil concentration is real in these, okay? Do I think it's beautiful? Absolutely. Sophisticated, elegant, sort of bridal, a little sexy, alluring. With like one spray, you could wear this in the day. With like 2 or 3, you know, sexy, warm date night out. Is it something I have to have in my collection? No. I think I have things that hit a similar mark for me, so I don't feel like I have to have this. Will I use up this full sample? Yes, I will. Next up, we're going to talk about a brand new one. It's so new it's not even on Fragrantica. That is Kind Intentions by Novitus, which is in collaboration with Paula Shar, which I love her channel. I picked up Venom of Love by Paulina Shar from Novitus, so I definitely watch her channel. This one, the notes had me on the fence. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to love it enough to buy a big bottle. So I was like, test it. We got to test it. I will put a picture up here, though, of the bottle because I'm not going to lie. Almost bought it just for the bottle. The color is everything. In here, we have Italian bergamot, iris, and a unique note of seaweed. Caught my attention. Doesn't really scare me because I like salty fragrances like Olympia Intense and Skin by Clean Reserve, and then White Flowers and African Olibanum. I don't know much about Olibanum. I have seen it before, but I should really research that because I can't really tell you much about it. Sandalwood, Benzoin, Madagascar Vanilla, love that. Moss and some musk. I'm a big fan of moss and fragrances. That also doesn't scare me. Let me show you that I have used this, okay? I hope you can see that with the label, but I think this is beautiful. I will say an initial spray, I got Pine Sol cleaning supplies. The first time I sprayed it, I was kind of like, oh, that's not what I was expecting. It's very citrus forward in the beginning, but like a lot of Novatose fragrances, the longer this has sat, the prettier it has gotten. This is very airy. This is just a very airy, soft, sweet, and feminine. I know this is unisex, but I'm sorry. This one's finally for the ladies. I feel like a lot of Novatose fragrances are unisex, leaning masculine from what I've read and from the notes I'm seeing. This one leans feminine, and I'm finally like, yes, one for us ladies. I love this soft, radiant, just airy cloud it makes. Definitely get the citrus in there. Definitely get that vanilla in there for sure. I think that's what makes that soft marshmallowy like effect. It smells lovely. And after going from the extreme thick tuberosa to this, it stands out even more because this is just like soft, sweet, airy, flowy, feminine, elegant, but a bit playful. I do get white flowers in there, but it's just a very soft, sweet white floral blend. It's not the thick, choke you out white florals like tuberosa. That one can knock you for a loop, okay? It's thick white florals. I personally think the seaweed is indistinguishable in here. I don't pick up anything that makes me think, ugh, seaweed. I do get just a little bit of uniqueness in here, and I think the moss tames it from being too sweet, too girly, too youthful, too playful. It tones things down. That's why I like moss. I think moss is a nice balance to sweetness. I like this a lot. Actually, smelling it now, I like it even more than before. It reminds me of something, and I know Paulina kept saying there's nothing like it. I'm gonna disagree. I can't put my finger on it, but this smells familiar. You know what I think? It reminds me a bit of Dua's version of Tahoda. I've never smelled actual Tahoda. I have the dupe version. That musky, vanilla, airy cloud you're getting. It reminds me a bit of that. If you had Tahoda, this might be redundant. It is a little different because it has that citrusiness. There's just something so familiar. It's called Kind Intentions. Do I think the name is perfect? Yes. This is a kind, soft, subtle fragrance. When I was wearing this, I didn't get great longevity. I'll be real with you. This really becomes a skin scent, and that is the only reason I'm on the fence. I think it's lovely, beautiful, feminine, just something that everybody's gonna like. I can't imagine anybody smelling this and be like, oh, I hate it. I'm just on the fence if I need a whole bottle. If you love something soft, sweet, not sickly sweet, a little playful, just kind of comforting and lovely, Kind Intentions is it. I'm on the fence. I'll have to update you if I pick up a full bottle or not, because smelling it this time, like I liked it before, and this time it was like in love. So I'm gonna have to give her another wear. I don't know, maybe something's different in the air today. We do have more humidity now. It was very dry before. That might be the difference. I have noticed temperature, weather so greatly affects fragrance. Next up is one that is very hyped up and raved about here on YouTube and is so out of my budget that I will never buy a full bottle unless I win the lottery. But I was so curious. I'm like, okay, I have to buy a sample. Like, it wasn't cheap, but it gave me the little bit of taste, the experience. The next one here is Blanche Bette by Liquid Imaginaires. In here we have a quarts of lactonic vanilla. Top two, yes, right up my alley. White floral, sweet, powdery, tuberose floral, warm, spicy, and amber. Like so many of these are my favorites. Amber fragrances, oh my gosh, love them. And then we have some notes of milk. I love a good lactonic fragrance, and I feel like it's actually hard to find really good ones. Then Mystalic, which I have no idea what it is. It's obviously a synthetic. I don't know what that means. I have no idea. And then we have ambrette, tuberose, mahonial, which looks like a white floral, incense, jasmine. Jasmine is one of my favorites in fragrance. Vanilla, musk, cacao. Okay, I'm into this so far. Tonka bean. Hello. Sounds awesome, right? She is. I can't lie. She is. When I smelled her, I was like, yep, you're amazing. I love it. There is something about Blanche Bet, you guys. I will never spend $400 on a perfume again unless I win the lottery. Like, you do you, boo. If you have the funds for it, please pick this one up because I think it smells wonderful. I will never do that. But oh my gosh, am I going to daydream about this one? Yes, I am. And am I submitting entries into Juliana's perfume all the time to please make a dupe of this? Yes, I am. Because I can do $69. This is so milky and good and yummy. This is like teetering on the like gourmand savory line, which is interesting. It's like almost a little savory because it's not super sweet. The Philosophy Fresh Cream, like pretty darn sweet, right? But lactonic. A lot of lactonic fragrances are sickly sweet, syrupy. This is like almost savory. This is one of those fragrances that the way the notes combine, it's like hard to pick out one from the other. They all kind of become like just Blanche Bet. It's almost like if you had a hot chocolate that was like a little half scoop of chocolate powder and the rest is milk. And it's not dairy milk, it's coconut milk. I get super coconut vibes in here even though it's not listed. Like I get super duper, almost like freshly cracked open coconut. Because if you've ever tried fresh coconut, it's not what you're expecting. I remember as a kid, the first time I tried it, I thought it was going to be like this yummy sweetness because I'd only had this sweetened coconut that you buy in the baking aisle. It's not. Coconut is actually kind of savory. That's this. I love this, you guys. I love this. Like, I could eat this. I want to smell like this. I want to eat this. Like, I love it. Blanche Bet, you have my heart. I will never do that because you're just too expensive. But I love it. Oh my gosh, the hype is real on that one. Alrighty, next up is Ylang in Gold. I've been so curious about the Micallef fragrances because I do feel like, one, the bottles are beautiful. It really seems like the art is behind the brand, which I respect. It's expensive though, so I've never dove out there. And up until this round of purchasing, I'm a blind buy-aholic. I can't lie, I love doing it. It's exciting. That's why I usually stick to the more affordable fragrances because it's not as much of a risk. When I'm spending $100+, it gets risky to blind buy. But I am so curious about Micallef because it's very, very, very popular on YouTube. The bottles are beautiful. The artistry is there. I will say I would prefer to not have shimmer in there. I don't know if they offer this in a non-shimmer version. In here we have accords of sweet, vanilla, fruity, yellow floral, coconut, woody. We're talking summer already, right? Powdery, aromatic, tropical, and lactonic. It all sounds good to me and we are in the heart of summer, so it's right up my alley. And there are a lot of notes in here. I feel like I need to put on a pair of readers. Hold on. It's a whole novel here. Bear with me. We have fruity notes. Peach, lychee, sage, tangerine, rosemary, artemisia. Interesting that that's in here as well. Geranium, bitter orange, ylang ylang, sandalwood, mint. That is what really pulled me in. I've been on this mint kick lately. I think it's the heat we're having, but mint has just sounded so good in fragrances to me. Magnolia, rose, lily of the valley, vanilla, coconut, musk, oak moss. Oh yes, okay. Coming off the back of Blanche Bet, which is so creamy, this one almost comes off like a little harsh, a little cleaning supply. I think it's that little bit of citrus in there mixed with the fruits. It's almost coming across a little artificial cough syrupy. It's very warm summer months, but not tropical in the sense of like sunscreen, you know, beach vacation. This could be beautiful evening out in the summer. She's not just one-dimensional. I do get the little bit of mint in there. It's not super minty or anything, but I just feel like mint gives this like zest, almost kind of tickle your nose freshness. I really like that about this. I do think this is one that paper won't do it justice. I really need to give this a wear. I think this will just like come off the body beautifully. I could see this being super dressed up in the summer, but also a little casual, but still sensual. So I'm not saying like blue jeans and a t-shirt. I'm talking like cute satin skirt and a pair of wedge sandals with a cute little top. like that form of casual. But I could also see this like evening summer wedding with a long dress. That fruitiness makes her a little fruity, a little flirty. I will say sometimes fruity fragrances at times come across body splash-like to me. Think Eden Juicy Apple. That is Country Apple from Bath & Body Works. This is grown up. This is not body splash, but she's also not mature. She's playful. I'm really excited to wear this on the skin because I really do think the skin and this will be like, ooh. Next up we have Novatus Raced Spirits. And one, I love Steven of Redolescence. Isn't he just like the most likable guy in the world? I mean, I've never met him, but he seems really likable. So he made this one with Novatus. But the main reason I was interested in it, okay, two. One, I love a caramel note. I'm a sucker for caramel. And it's been compared to Minuet à Demi by Fragrance du Bois and Demi Rawlings, which I got a sample of that one time and I loved it, but it's very expensive, so I'm not gonna do that. And people are saying this one is just like it, and I see the resemblance. Okay, in here we have a course of sweet caramel, tobacco, warm spicy, rum, vanilla, and woody. I was worried that this one would be too masculine, but this one is very down the middle unisex, which I love. Caramel, rum, pimento leaf. That's what is very much in common with Minuet à Demi. Caramel, brown sugar, and sugarcane. Your girl loves sweets. I even like me some sweet tobacco notes and fragrances. So we've got tobacco, bourbon vanilla, cashmere, and oak. I like this one. Not for this time of year. This is definitely cooler months. I will say, I do think a man could rock this all year around because it is perfectly unisex. On a man, rock it all year long. On me, I feel like this is definitely cooler months weather. I'm talking October through March. If you like jazz club, I think you would like this. I'm not really a jazz club fan. That one leans a little too masculine for me, but if you love that, I think you would like this. Amp up the sweetness in jazz club. I do think this reminds me of Minuet à Demi. It's been a minute since I've tried it, but this is tickling that portion of my memory in my brain that I'm like, yeah, I can pick up the resemblance here. I think it's that little bit spicy pimento leaf. There's a sweet tobacco. If you're afraid of tobacco, it is not in your face. I have Elizabeth and James in the purple bottle. That has tobacco in it. Same type of tobacco going on. Really beautiful sweet tobacco. I will say for having caramel, sugarcane, brown sugar, I thought this was going to be way sweeter, way denser, syrupy. This still has an airiness to it that I really enjoy. Think of the airiness, the sweetness from Vanilla 28 actually really reminds me of that type of sweetness. Not the same fragrance, but the same type of sweetness. I definitely pick up the brown sugar. As much as I've been trying not to buy fragrances, when Black Friday comes around, I can see myself picking up a bottle of Kind Intentions and Race Spirit. Now, next up we have one that I knew was going to be a stretch for me, but Mila LeBlanc raved about it, and I do enjoy stumbling across her channel on occasion. And this one is Sugar Leather by, I don't know how to say this, Unui Nomad. I don't like leather fragrances typically, but the sugar, I was like, maybe this one. She was like, oh my gosh, it's so sexy. I don't think she said it quite like that. She would have said it more sultry and deep, like, oh, it is so sexy. I know that sounds nothing like her, but you get what I'm trying to say. She's much more the kind of like smooth, sexy than the like myself. So anyways, in here we have main accords of leather, caramel, cinnamon, amber, warm spicy, woody, balsamic, animalic, sweet, and aromatic. So quite the accords going on. And the note list is pretty darn simple. Leather, cinnamon, caramel, labdanum, and amorous. So not a ton going on in the notes, but me and leather, we usually don't hit it off. And maybe I just need to save this sample and smell it when it's cooler outside, because it's very hot right now and very humid. The initial first 1 second, I'm like, I like it. And then as it dries down, that leathery note comes out that I'm just not sold on. Maybe I need to get my nose a little more used to it. It's very leathery. But think of more soft leather. This is not like motorcycle jacket leather. It's a little bit softer than that. There's definitely a sweetness in there. Like, I don't hate it at all. It's not an ugly fragrance. I just don't think it's my cup of tea. Could I see someone like Mila LeBlanc rocking this? Yes. She puts on a slinky little dress, looks amazing, wears this and it's like stunning, right? This, it's just not me. I don't think I have the occasions in my life where this like matches up with. Is there something about it I almost like? Yes. It is sweet. It is leathery. It's not masculine. It's not feminine. It's kind of right down the center, unisex, maybe with one foot into feminine. Could I see myself maybe liking this in the cooler months? Like putting myself in the fall vibes where I've got on like a heavy jacket and a sweater, the leaves are blowing. I could see myself maybe enjoying this then. It's just so out of season right now. It's hard for me to say yes or no. I will say it's unlikely that I would pick up a full bottle. I don't hate it. I think it'll be fun to play with this sample. If you've tried this one, please let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear it. I always love chatting with you guys about fragrance. Instant Crush by Mancera. I've been so curious about this one because it's often compared to BR540, and I have so many BR540 dupes. I'm always intrigued. This one has accords of warm, spicy, woody, amber, vanilla, powdery, citrus, musky, metallic, rose, and earthy. The earthy, I'm like, oh, that's a downer. In here we have the notes of saffron, ginger, Sicilian mandarin, and Sicilian bergamot. Then we have amberwood, rose, jasmine, patchouli, Madagascar vanilla, musk, sandalwood, and oak moss. So yes, from the notes, I can see why people are thinking BR540, and I can see that it was probably an inspiration for this. Mancera is known to be kind of a powerhouse. I have the Vanilla Exclusive. I very much enjoy it. Some people say their fragrances are too synthetic. Kind of see the BR540 vibe. I really think it's just in the fact that it's got saffron. Like, it's got that little bit of medicinal saffron. Doesn't compare to BR540. I'm going to be real with you, not at all in my opinion. BR540 is so cotton candy, spun sugar yumminess, but elegant. This is kind of like her grungy older sister. I will probably give this sample to my hubby. I think it will smell amazing on him. It is definitely unisex. Like, a woman could totally wear this, but I find this has like 1 foot into masculine, where I feel like BR540 has 1 step into feminine. This one is not for me. It's not something I would need a whole bottle of. It's not terrible at all. Like I said, I think it'll smell great on my husband, but for me, I would much rather use one of my BR540 dupes or wear like Ariana Grande Cloud. I like a little bit more sweetness, a little more sugariness than this has. I think as you wear this, the sweetness would come out a bit, but if you were like gonna spend big bucks, I would prefer BR540. Now the last one, the actual last one that I really, really like is 4160 Tuesdays. What an odd name. I should research the brand and why they're named that. What I did on my holidays. So I mentioned mint. This is how I discovered this one. Okay, so in here we have accords of sweet, vanilla, aromatic, green, coconut, marine, fresh, spicy, and aquatic, saying summer to anybody, because it is to me. And in here we have notes of mint, coconut, sea notes, seaweed. Oh, I forgot this had seaweed, and so does Kind Intentions. Then cotton candy, one of my favorite notes ever. Lavender, ice cream, another favorite note, and vanilla. This just sounds wonderful in my opinion. I believe I was searching cotton candy notes and this one popped up, and then I saw the mint and I was like, oh my god, I gotta try. This one is so weird and I love it. If you like unique, odd, niche fragrances, this is it. But you're like me and you still want sweet, playful, feminine, not so weird that you feel like, who am I wearing this? So this one is weird. It is. It's not at all like designer, easy reach fragrance. She's a little different, okay? In the initial blast, you're getting like a lot of salt, And I do feel like I'm getting seaweed. I do. Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm getting seaweed. Yeah, for sure. But I'm also getting mint, like fresh mint. Yep, she's in there. And I'm getting the little bit of a creamy lactonicness from the ice cream. The cotton candy I feel like is very hidden in there, and to me it's adding more of just a sweetness and maybe a little bit of a fluffiness, but it's not like an in-your-face cotton candy fragrance. She's weird and I love it. I can't lie, she's a little odd. It's actually one of those that makes you think of coldness. It's like very fresh, And I definitely get the cold vibes in there, like cold ice cream. And I get why when I've looked up other reviews of this, people are like, it's like you're walking on a boardwalk past a carnival and you smell the salt in the air and there's seaweed floating up on the beach and someone's munching on an ice cream cone. Yes. So I'm thinking this one to me, you know, might be like boyfriend jeans, a pair of cute tennies, and a white t-shirt. My daughter and I are like going to the park. It's something like that because it is so playful, but it's really not playful sexy. It's not really date to me. This is more somebody who wants to be a little lively, happy, playful, inviting. It's not so weird that I think people around you are gonna be like, oh, what are you wearing? It's not one of those. But she's different. You're not going to smell like anybody else. If you guys have tried any of these, please leave your comments down below. I love hearing your thoughts. What are you picking up this summer? What are your go-tos? Definitely let me know, let everybody else in the community know, because I do see conversations starting, which makes my heart so happy. Okay guys, that is all for today's video. I feel like it's a long one. I'm sorry if I took you away from your to-do list because this was a long one. As always, please try to stay positive because at the end of the day, that is truly all we can try to do. Thank you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.